My name is Mayhah Suri, and I'm with the ALEI Education Initiative. This video is about a community-supported agriculture survey that I conducted while I was with Maryland Department of Agriculture. Some of those results, what the ALEI Initiative did with those results, and some resources that might be helpful for CSA producers in the future. So, the ALEI Education Initiative is a collaboration of the Carey School of Law at UMB, the College of Ag and Natural Resources at UMCP, and the School of Ag and Natural Resources at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. Here's our website and some of our social media and how you can get in touch with us. So let's start with what is a CSA and what are the risk management issues. Most commonly, community-supported agriculture is a model where members purchase shares of a future bounty at the beginning of the season. This means farmers have their capital at the beginning of the season rather than waiting to sell what they grow at market. In the conventional or production ag system, consumers are protected from risk factors such as inclement weather, pest damage, and other causes of low yields. This is mostly due to the enormous scale of production agriculture and in addition to government policies. This adds up to mean that the average consumer will get the produce they need, regardless of the conditions of the growing season. In contrast, the CSA model spreads the risk between farmers and customers, or members. The shares that members purchase at the beginning of the season are used by the farmers for fertilizers, labor, machinery, and other operational costs. This means the members are just as vulnerable as the farmers to the impact of risk factors, because if the crops fail, the members will not see a return on their investment. In previous seasons, Maryland Department of Agriculture received phone calls from customers who were unhappy with the products they received from their CSA farms. Some were confused about a change in quantity or had complaints about their farmers' practices. The concerns highlighted a need for more information about CSA in Maryland, and to get that information, MDA conducted an online survey of farm owners and members in July 2014. The goal of the survey was to learn more about the practices and needs of CSA farm owners, Maryland members and their expectations and experience with CSA farms, and the central goal of the survey was to understand how CSA farm owners communicate potential risk and how members perceive and recognize the risk. I wrote two surveys, one for CSA farm owners and one for CSA farm members. The questions covered a range of topics such as marketing strategies, types of produce, acreage, and risk communication strategies. The surveys were written and distributed using Qualtrics Incorporated, which is an online survey builder. The links were distributed via individual emails to farmers, who were then asked to forward their links to their members in order to respect privacy. So to illustrate the breadth and the results of the survey, I've picked out several questions from both surveys. This graphic shows the combined answers of the questions, what do farmers grow and what do members purchase? As you can see, the most popular item in Maryland is vegetables, closely followed by fruit, and then flowers, eggs, meat, honey, and other items like jams and jellies, seeds, and even some prepared foods. So clearly there's a lot of diversity in Maryland when it comes to CSA production. Another question I asked was, how do CSA farm owners market their products? 87.5% of CSA farmers who responded market their products under organic, natural, sustainable, and other various eco-friendly terms. So to be clear, not all of these farmers were actually USDA certified organic, but a vast majority of them do use organic practices or other maybe non-traditional or alternative practices, maybe such as no synthetic fertilizers or using integrated pest management systems, or some other practices, even if they're not all actually certified organic. So related to this, a very common reason on the part of members for choosing a CSA farm was an interest in organic produce. Other reasons are perceived health benefits and a lowered environmental impact. But, and this was somewhat surprising to me, the number one reason that people join CSA farms is to support local farmers, local farms, and local Maryland businesses. So people on both sides of the CSA equation, the farmers and the members, really have this deep and passionate commitment to buying local and supporting local. So in general, we can see that Marylanders are very happy with their CSA experiences. 77% responded that they strongly agree with the statement, "I am satisfied with my current CSA experience." So people in Maryland are really happy with CSAs. It's a really vibrant and positive farm relationship. I also asked farmers how much of the farm revenue comes from non-CSA sources. 89% of farmers that responded said they have non-CSA sources of revenue, including farm stands, farm markets, and selling through retailers. Many farmers had less than 20% of their income from a non-CSA source, but at the same time, many farmers had a lot of their income coming from a non-CSA source. So as we can see, there's a broad diversity in the type of CSAs that we have here in Maryland. So one goal of the survey was actually to figure out if CSAs needed to be regulated. An alternative to regulation could be a certification program. So I asked farmers about their reaction to a need for a certification program. 63% of farmers said they would not benefit from a certification program. But of the 37% who said they would benefit, here are some of the reasons that they gave. It may make the CSA farm more standardized. It would protect my farm from risk. It would help CSA owners understand what they're getting into. That yes, it would benefit us because that would mean that non-CSA operations couldn't use the CSA label. When asked about non-regulatory programs like training, farmers were about split in half. The topics farmers wanted to know more about were marketing strategies, best practices for growing, and allocating produce correctly. So the next two slides illustrate the main issue that we saw in risk management and risk communication. When asked, over 60% of farmers said that they require a membership agreement, and over 50% of members remember signing one. So here we see that Maryland farmers are trying to employ clear communication strategies and have a transparent, open relationship with their members. And mostly the members remember signing that membership agreement. However, this membership agreement perhaps does not convey the risk of low yields clearly enough. Although about 70% of farmers reported communicating that risk, only about 30% of members remembered hearing it or reading about it. So I pinpointed this area as maybe a potential area of confusion, because as we can see, members remember signing the agreement, but they don't really remember hearing about this risk. So after the survey came in and was analyzed, ALEI looked through existing membership agreements that were already available online, and we kind of confirmed that the portions about risk management were vague or sometimes absent. So this led to an extended educational program and effort focused on CSA contracts. This led to the creation of a lot of new resources, including a model contract, a guide explaining the contract, several webinars, presentations, and a couple of reports. All of these are housed in the CSA section of our publications library, which I've put up the URL to that here. So as you can see, this survey, provided some baseline information about CSAs in Maryland and really helped the Ag Law Initiative figure out where were the problems and to come up with some resources for solutions so that we don't have to rely on perhaps burdensome or difficult regulatory schemes. And with the right information and the right access to resources, that we'll be able to fix, this huge split here where members seem to be just unaware of maybe what they're getting into. So thank you, and if you have any questions about this video, the survey, our documents about CSAs, feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call.